5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is About Space, America's return to space, with news and information on our U.S. space program. Is your host of About Space, David Denault.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me today. You might remember our story about Albert Einstein, but new information has been discovered that Einstein used an altered state of consciousness to connect with the cosmos.
Albert Einstein was very adept in putting himself into altered states of consciousness through what he called his thought experiments, which were a kind of three-dimensional metaphorical reverie.
I'll have details and more next as America and the world is listening to About Space today. Come to the land of orange groves and palm trees. Come to the land of theme parks. Come to the land of sunny beaches and the azure waters of the Atlantic Ocean. So come and visit Florida for lasting memories. Email us. Email david.ddcruiseandtours@gmail.com or call D&D Cruise and Tours at 877-747-8631 for your next family, cruise, or theme park vacation. Let us provide you your next visit with our travel experience, not experimentation. We are members of IATAN and CLIA. Email david.ddcruiseandtours@gmail.com. Serving the Southeast, traveler since 1985. Welcome back. The History Channel investigation discovered Einstein's ability to create an altered state of consciousness.
This was the kind of thing of putting himself into a place that most of us won't go and exploring that space.
Thought experiments enable you to visually or geometrically approach a problem that maybe mathematically might be difficult. For example, Einstein liked to think about what it would be like from a first-person perspective sitting on a beam of light moving through space. And what would you see from that perspective? He had all sorts of different visual ways of thinking about physics.
In 1905, after immersing himself in these thought experiments, Einstein authored 4 papers that would redefine mankind's perception of the universe in multiple ways.
One of his papers included the equation equals mc squared. It said you could create mass, you could destroy mass, and it gave us an idea of how mass might come into existence in the first place.
Einstein showed that mass can be converted into useful kinetic energy, and so this is the basis of the energy we get out of nuclear fission and nuclear fusion.
And another paper he published that year became the beginning of his theory of relativity. This was an amazing array of things to do for a scientist in an entire career. The fact that Einstein did it all in 1 year is virtually miraculous.
Is it possible that Einstein's ability to enter altered states of consciousness connected him to an extraterrestrial world? One that allowed him to access information about the inner workings of the universe.
Einstein said that when he first developed the concept of relativity, it was like a storm going off in his head. And this would show that he had a different kind of a brain, and his brain was wired in a different way than normal human beings.
Albert Einstein was known to spend hours on end sitting in a chair, formulating an idea or a thought to its inception. Now, was he tapping into some type of advanced field of knowledge? It's very possible Einstein used this type of technology to a certain level.
All the knowledge of the universe exists in the cosmos, and maybe Einstein was able to access that knowledge, that he was more in tune with this, what I would even refer to as a metaphysical world, that he had this direct access. He didn't know how he did this, but his being knew it, his essence, that through his being he was able to unlock the secret of the universe.
So, what do you think? Is it possible for our minds to create an altered state of consciousness? Sounds like something from the Twilight Zone.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Oh, for those who don't recognize that, it was an old black and white TV series that ran from 1959 to 1964 with Rod Serling. Be sure to check out our Facebook page, About Space Today, for launches and landings, and invite your family and friends to listen weekly. Join Dawn Meyer, Space Coast News Editor, this Friday for America in Space. And to all our listeners around the globe and here in the U.S., thanks for joining me. I'm David Denault, and this has been About Space Today.